Please welcome to the stand founder and operator of the IRA Brickel's IndyCar series, Joe Donohue.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for coming to the first ever press release on behalf of the IRA Brickel's IndyCar series and the first press release in the Indy Racing Association ever. It's an honor to represent such a great organization and such a great racing series here for all of you today. I'm Joe Donohue, if you weren't aware of that, founder and operator of the series. And we just have a couple things we want to talk about in reference to some changes and occurrences in this season that we find necessary to give the audience just for better knowledge and understanding of what's going on with the series. So we'll start with what happened in Nazareth last time, because we've had a couple of things happen during the race that we found were necessary to take action on for the first time in a long time. Usually we have a very good, clean run series and everything is handled very well and professionally by the drivers, but every once in a while something happens. And, it's racing, what are you going to do? It's a competition. So, Nazareth. For those of you who are not completely aware, there were two specific instances that we had to take a look at, the officials and myself, in regard to team orders and some aggressive driving. The team orders, if you're not aware, race leader Devin Kelleher was making a block on Austin Colano, not really a block, but just defending his position as the leader from Austin Colano, a member of Andretti Autosports team, and coming across his teammate Dale Salzman as a lapped car. Salzman let him pass and then proceeded to jump in line and act sort of as a block between Colano and Kelleher. The officials and myself have deemed Chip Ganassi Racing guilty of charges of team orders to put Salzman behind Kelleher and have him block the leader for Kelleher to win that race. And as a result, we've found a 5-point team penalty for Chip Ganassi Racing to be what we find suitable for the situation. So these 5 points will come out of the team's championship, not the driver's championship. Those points from Salzman and Kelleher will stay the same, and just putting Chip Ganassi Racing under circumstance for what they've done, a little bit of a heads up, like, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that. That's not what racing's about. So, in regard to the other situation we had a little bit of an aggressive...
On down the inside, shows them high, stabbings,
granted the aggression that Salzman had prior to that instance, along with obeying the team orders that he did, we have decided Austin Colano and Salzman are both guilty of their charges. However, due to the scenario, we have only put Austin Colano on probation. Granted that it was a triggered instance from team orders playing into it, and from that, Dale Salzman will be receiving a 3-position grid penalty. My apologies. Grid penalty from that race that will translate to Long Beach next time, where he will lose those 3 spots in qualifying to make up for a lost ground of respect in the series. Another really big instance that has occurred in this series, we have found that Watkins Glen, host of Race 5, will not be capable of hosting the race anymore. There is no room for it physically at the current moment where I reside and create these races. Therefore, we will replace it with Rock Raceway, a staple race of the series for the past 5 years, and it will be replacing it for Race 5. The Gurney Cup will not be run at Rock Raceway. It will instead be run at Long Beach. So as for that, that's the official word on the series, and pretty much all of the really big stuff that we want to regard the officials and myself. Moving on, we have to talk about what has been quite an interesting experience of uploading races. Currently, you can go on the IRA Racing website and look at the schedule of events based off of what has been happening in my life, and as a creator of this series, I have listed everything that you need to know about all the races on the calendar, when they're in production, when they're done with production, when they're edited, when they're set to be uploaded, and etc., etc. But just in general, this is where the fans come in. If the fans who support the series would like to chime in on whether or not they prefer the races be separated or if they want them back to back, just for future reference, I kind of like it, to be completely honest, personally, because we are only running 6 races this year, which is 2 less than any other season, but for what it's worth, the season lasts longer on the calendar because the races do not go back to back, weekly, that is. So give some response via a comment on this video is fine for the fans watching, what you would prefer, if you prefer the races to be back to back again, or like they are now, maybe a little separated maybe. So that's in regard to that. The other thing that we have to talk about, this is probably the biggest piece of information we have, Brickels. The presenting sponsor of this series is not going to be the presenting sponsor of this series anymore. The company has dissipated and does not support our series anymore, so with that, the IRA Brickels IndyCar Series will be looking for a new title sponsor for 2019, and any information about that will be covered in the future with the IRA website and possibly videos here, official releases, and otherwise work towards getting a title sponsor. So there's that. We also have some official merchandise listed on a Redbubble page titled The Joe Donohue, that would be me, where fans can go find themselves small quantities of merchandise that they can purchase and represent this series elsewise, stickers, mugs, t-shirts, stuff like that, where they can represent themselves and their favorite drivers. And we think that's a great place for this series to find a little bit of funding for future cars and future track projects. There's a link always in the description of videos about that, and we look forward to having the opportunity to work with some product. Finally, just want to make mention that you can find all the points, standings, and the race calendar and everything on the IRA Brickel's IndyCar Series page and pages on the IRA website. That is always listed in the description of videos posted here, and just for general knowledge, if you weren't aware, you can click on the description and go check out the IRA website. So, as the presenter of the series, that's really all the stuff I wanted to cover, aside from possible sponsorship in the future for races and drivers and teams and etc. But that's a story for another time. Thank you all very much for attending. It means a lot that we can create such a big and important part of popular culture just by me sitting on the floor and playing with some die-cast cars. So, in conclusion, thank you very much for coming out and watching and attending. And until we meet again, watch out for Long Beach. Thank you.